Hi, Triple G here with Self-Defense Offense video. Today is on your emotional health. And it's going to be about the upcoming event, as they're calling it. It's not UFOs either. I'm going to tell you in a kind of a story form, picture form, because I want you to see that things are happening that behind the scene that you don't even realize. Not too many people do think about this. So, do you trust your government? Nah. Do you trust the news media? Well, not in the last couple of years. You know, a lot of fake news. They report things and then they go crazy over it, and then it turns out to be false, but they don't tell you it ever to come back and say it was false. No, I wouldn't do that. So it's just super, super biased, and it's just crazy. It's nuts. We're going to talk about that a little bit. We're going to talk a lot about Operation Mockingbird. I'm going to go to the right spot here so you can... I'm going to tell you this first, okay, because then you get your attention here. The Department of Justice has 18,510 sealed indictments. Why are they sealed? Well, because if they open a couple of these up, then everybody might be running or scared or commit suicide or, do other things because they might be close to the problem. And there's people, this is on Pacer, so attorneys have access to Pacer. And I put a link in there for this one. There's 18,000 down here. So what you would do is you would have to add up, I can't read backwards, so just add up. That must be California. It has lots. So you add up each column, and because they did it every month or two, so you add up each column and it gets you. Normally is 1,000. This is 18,000 since they started counting back in October, the end of October. That's a lot of people going to jail. Interesting. Yeah. So I'm going to do a couple of John F. Kennedy's quotes, maybe. He said, I'm going to splinter the CIA into 1,000 pieces. And then he says, there's a plot in this country to enslave every man, woman, and child. Before I leave this high and noble office, I intend to expose the plot. He had he was going to get rid of the Federal Reserve because it's a money scheme, laundering money scheme. And 7 days later, he was killed. Interesting. Okay, so I'm going to let you read this. This is on false flags. And if you could pause it, and that would be then better for me to just kind of read it. But false flags are events like shootings, okay, to have an agenda, basically, have an agenda. So whatever that is. Behold, A Pale Horse is a book. It's written by a former CIA person. And in it, he talks about the CIA and some of their mind control projects. One is Oron, and I'm going to read a couple sentences of this. Okay, so this is intended to foster a feeling of insecurity, which would lead the American people to voluntarily disarm themselves by passing laws against firearms, using drugs and hypnosis on mental patients in a process called Oron. The CIA inoculated the desire in these people to open fire on schoolyards, thus inflame the anti-gun lobby. The plan is well underway and working perfectly. Think about that. That's scary. Very scary. That's scary stuff. And so you might think I'm a conspiracy theorist, or maybe I'm a truth seeker finding out what really is going on. Operation Mockingbird was a fully implemented CIA program to spread its information throughout American media. CIA Director William Colby testified to the Church Committee. Colby, I don't remember him, so it was a long time ago. Over 400 CIA agents were active in the U.S. media to control whatever was reported through American mainstream television, newspaper, and magazines. That's scary, isn't it? See, in the last couple of years, I just knew something was not right. I mean, It was biased. It was so biased. I'm going, what's going on? This is controlled communism propaganda that they're feeding us, like North Korea, Russia. All right. So every morning, what if these journalists, paid actors, because they don't really journalize, they read a script on the prompter. What if they all get the memo at 4 o'clock in the morning? You notice all these stations, newspapers, magazines, whatever, all get the same memo. And they all tell you the same thing. Fox News is a little bit more balanced, so I'd listen to them before I would listen to other fake news. This gal here is a CNN employee, and she believes that we, as CNN employee, we as a journalist, control what you think. And her father is a communist. Here's just another example. There's a lot more on YouTube. If you want to go to scripted TV, there's a lot more examples on YouTube. But do you think they all got the memo? Mm-hmm. Yes, they did. Now, whenever there's a news about Islam, you see this face. Look at this face. This guy has been everywhere. Okay, so scripted TV. I'm just going to give you one more here. This is Hillary's rally on this side. All right. And they only would show up a close-up picture of her. Camera would never, ever, ever pan the crowd. That's because there isn't any. Now, I'll zoom in. If you notice that this picture is photoshopped with the same group of people in there several times. Crazy, huh? Oops, I got one more. The Wall Street Journal has Trump is tough, Trump is soft. Same day newspaper, different regions. Is that crazy or what? All right. Yeah, definitely crazy. Okay. So I'm logical and responsible, ultimate skeptic. So I have to see it to believe it. So I've been doing the research on some of these false flags, and things are hinky. And at all of the last 3 shootings, Las Vegas, church, Florida. So the reports aren't the same as the police reports. Of course, that was different every time they came out. Plus the witnesses, it was different. I can't go into details because people, if they talk about it, they've gotten banned. They're banning all the outright media on YouTube. Literally banning them. Yeah. Yeah. Something's hinky going on. Definitely. Did you know that the mainstream media did not report that over 2,000, and I heard another large term, which 6,000, but I don't know. I just heard that, I researched that one, but over 2,000 people died in Yemen, and we don't care. No, we don't care. Evidently, 1 million people were affected. This is with cholera. Now, cholera is from the bad drinking water, but we don't care about a couple thousand people dying? I guess not. Did you know that in Madagascar, this summer fall, they had the bubonic plague? Not Ebola. Ebola is from touching somebody. This is airborne. The bubonic plague, black plague, is airborne. Why we weren't told about this? Oh, that's because it was contained. Only a couple hundred people died within a couple months. Yeah. Enough for somebody to get on an airplane and come over. Yeah, okay. But they don't tell you about that kind of stuff, do they? Ask questions. You have to ask a lot of questions. I watched a video called JFK to 9/11 and Everything's a Rich Man's Trick. I was in shock for 2 days because then I knew I was not living in the world that I always thought it was. Like, for example, the Truman Show. The guy lived in a bubble. I think that's what we're living in. And then there's the Matrix movie where here's the blue pill. You can go back and live anywhere you want to in your own little bubble, in your own little world, or you can take the red pill. Guess what? I'm giving you a little piece of the red pill today, but I want you to do your own homework. I'm going to put a list of things at the end, or in links that you can. I'll try to have some links down below if I can do those. So have you heard of the deep state, the shadow government? Yes, there really is one. To believe it or not, I did a little bit of homework that years ago, but there wasn't much out on it. And Agenda 21 is another scary thing of the UN. But there really is a huge ring of corruption all around the world. It's so big, it takes in so many moving pieces. It's unbelievable. So listen to that if you have time. It's an hour and a half. Scary. If you want to be shocked. Into reality, that's one way of doing it. So there's going to be these unsealed indictments for bribery, for corruption, for money laundering, for the pedo stuff, for the treason, sedition. So there's going to be some high ups that could shock you that'll be arrested. So ask yourself a question. Why would a billionaire who has all fame, fortune, loving family, and friends want to endanger himself and his family by becoming POTUS, which is president of the U.S.? Why would he want to target himself if he cares about those in his family? So what if years ago, the military intelligence people came to Trump to show him all the worldwide corruption, sex trafficking, pedo rings, money laundering, and we're talking trillions, because the Rothschild, and I don't have the picture here, but the Rothschilds own most of the banks around the world. They control them. Because if I have millions of dollars, I have influence. I can influence people. I can influence lots of things. Okay? If I have billions of dollars, I have more power. I can influence not just people, but communities, maybe counties, maybe businesses. If I had trillions, guess what I can do? I can control countries. War is money. So that's why I was rocked, I guess, because 9/11 really explained that to me. We knew it, but because it's just war is money. It makes money because then you have manufacturing and you have a lot more building tanks and you have. I won't keep going. So what if the military intelligence community laid it all out and then gave them a plan that this is what we can do, not just Trump, we can do. And they asked him if he'd be president. Trump said yes. Think about that one. What if he really is draining the swamp? What if? Wouldn't that be nice if we got rid of all the corruption around? According to the National Center for Missing Children, there's 800,000 children missing a year. Whoa. That 800,000 children missing a year. That's too crazy, right? Very, very crazy. Where'd they all go? Interesting. Ask questions. I know the answer to that. All right. So the pedo rings are really bad. 2,000 kids, over 2,000 children have been rescued in America. 3,000 have been rescued in Saudi Arabia. Over 6,000 in America have been arrested for it. Youngest child was, average age was 15. The youngest was 3 months. I could cry over that. MS-13 has been arrested. Lots, probably hundreds of MS-13 has been arrested that Obama let in. Come on in, gang members. Yeah, we need you to do the wet works. So you can look that one up if you don't know what wet works are. The other thing is that there's over 1,000 CEOs have resigned all over the world, and there's several hundred in America. We just had the CDC, head of the CDC resign. We had Steve Wynn, Las Vegas, and Nike just resigned yesterday. So we have a lot of people, resigned people. Red Cross, who else? So why are they resigning? Are they because of sexual harassment or something more sinister? Ask questions. What's really going on? Because it's not what you think or what they tell you is going on. So that's what I been doing my homework on. I started on Twitter actually for Trump's tweets because I knew his tweets meant something, and so I started that. Then I found other things like Q-Post. Q-Post is a secret intel that they've been giving some people that then gives it to us. And so it's been interesting read, and this could be coming up here within the next week or two. Don't be scared. Don't be frightened. Now you know why and what's going on. Till next time, be safe.